Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking an absolute marvel of engineering and geopolitics. We're talking about a system that's literally transforming India from a traditional defense importer into a fully sovereign technology innovator. Yep, we're diving deep into Project Kusha, India's strategic sky shield.
Okay, let's just quickly map out our journey for today. We'll start with the defense capability gap, move into what makes Kusha a sovereign shield, break down its modular M-series architecture, compare it head-to-head with the legendary S-400, and finally, look ahead to Mission Sudarshan Chakra 2035.
So, Section 1. The Defense Capability Gap.
Before we get into the tech, I really want you to think about this question. How do you protect a billion people from threats you literally can't even see? Because, modern warfare is absolutely not about visible fighter jets dogfighting in the clouds anymore. It's happening at ranges, altitudes, and speeds that the human eye just cannot track.
We're dealing with a terrifying new reality here. Imagine fifth-generation stealth fighters specifically built to slip right past radar. We're talking massive, coordinated UAV swarms, supersonic and hypersonic cruise missiles, Mach 7 anti-ship ballistic missiles, and loitering munitions just waiting to strike. These weapons can hit with absolute pinpoint accuracy from hundreds of kilometers away. And until very recently, India had a really dangerous capability gap sitting right between its 80-kilometer medium-range missiles and the 400-kilometer reach of its imported S-400 systems.
Section 2. Kusha, the Sovereign Shield. This is where our protagonist enters the story to bridge that exact gap.
This whole initiative is heavily driven by the ethos of Atmanirbhar Bharat, essentially a self-reliant India. The ultimate goal? Strict strategic autonomy. It's about making sure India isn't sitting around waiting on foreign defense suppliers or their unpredictable geopolitical timelines just to secure its own airspace.
So what exactly is Project Kusha, or ERADS? Well, it's an indigenous, multi-layered, long-range surface-to-air missile network designed by the DRDO. And what's really fascinating here is that it's not just a single static missile. It's a dynamic, AI-integrated defensive umbrella built to take out advanced threats with a frankly staggering 80 to 90% interception success rate.
Right, moving to Section 3, Modular M-Series Interceptor Architecture. How does Kusha actually pull off this multi-layered defense in the real world?
The secret sauce is its universal modular architecture. Rather than building completely different missiles from scratch for every single range, the DRDO uses one highly advanced common kill vehicle across multiple interceptors. They basically engineered one extremely smart bullet, and they just swap out the size of the gunpowder, the solid rocket boosters, depending on how far it needs to go. It's a brilliant way to massively accelerate development.
This creates a fully layered shield. At the inner edge, you have the M1 interceptor with a 150-kilometer range, perfectly optimized for incredibly fast, agile cruise missiles and tactical jets. Step out further, and the M2 hits 250 kilometers. Think of that one as a stealth hunter, tuned for low radar cross-section targets like the J-20. And finally, the M3 stretches all the way out to 350 to 400 kilometers. That is pure strategic reach, designed to take down large airborne early warning aircraft and mid-air refuelers. It basically blinds the enemy's air campaign long before it reaches the border.
Just look at the M1, for example. It absolutely nailed its first flight test in early 2026. This thing is packed with a gallium nitride AESA seeker, which basically gives it ultra-precise, jam-resistant vision. Combine that with a dual-pulse solid rocket motor for crazy maneuverability and a specialized seeker stabilization system, and you get a weapon with a 98.5% kill probability when fired in a dual-launch salvo. That test definitively proved India actually has the high-tech kinetic capability to pull this whole ambitious system off.
Section 4, Kusha versus the S-400. Okay, time for the heavyweight bout. How does India's homegrown tech stack up against Russia's world-famous S-400 Triumph? The biggest differentiator here comes down to the black box problem. Look, the S-400 is an incredibly capable system, no doubt about it. But it's an import. It's constrained by export controls, vulnerable to delivery delays, and most critically, it operates as a black box to the user. You can't mess with the code. Project Kusha, on the other hand, is 80 to 90% indigenous. That gives India total sovereign control. They own the source code. They can customize it, upgrade it, and adapt it to new threats whenever they want, completely immune to any foreign sanctions.
And then, we really have to talk about the economics. A single imported S-400 interceptor missile runs you about 100 crore rupees. A Kusha missile, it's a fraction of that cost, sitting right around 40 to 50 crore rupees.
To put that scaling into perspective, Kusha can outfit 5 initial Air Force squadrons for roughly 21,700 crore rupees. Getting 5 units of the S-400 cost a massive $5.25 billion, which is closer to 45,000 crore rupees. That kind of staggering cost efficiency means India can rapidly scale up this infrastructure to cover its massive borders without completely tanking the national budget.
Section 5. Mission Sudarshan Chakra 2035. Let's zoom out for a second, because Project Kusha is really just one piece of a much larger, very futuristic puzzle. The timeline here is moving incredibly fast. The Cabinet Committee on Security gave Kusha the green light back in May 2022. By early 2026, we had the successful M1 trials. Now, the roadmap calls for phased induction into the Air Force between 2028 and 2030, all leading up to the full realization of the Sudarshan Chakra network by 2035.
And here is the ultimate 2035 architecture. It is literally a multi-domain fortress. Up top, the outer layer uses space-based sensors for extreme long-range detection. The middle layer is Project Kusha itself, handling the kinetic interception with those M1, M2, and M3 missiles. Down on the ground, the inner layer provides point defense using directed energy weapons and 5-kilowatt lasers. The brain of this whole operation is an AI-enabled system running real-time threat modeling and predictive interception. And finally, the network ties it all perfectly into national command grids like IACS and Akashtir, so every branch of the military sees the exact same sky in real time.
What we're witnessing is a fundamental paradigm shift. We're moving away from a passive, platform-centric defense model right into an active, fully sovereign, and highly intelligent deterrence. Project Kusha isn't just a missile system, it's the ultimate guarantor of India's strategic autonomy for the 21st century.
So, now that India is building its own invincible, AI-driven sky shield, how will the global balance of power actually shift in the invisible battle spaces of tomorrow? I'm going to leave you with that provocative thought to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to keep questioning what's possible.